What's going on out there in movie land? Gregory Cockery here in Orange Room with the mighty Dylan James Guggenheimer Schmidt. He's back there behind the drums. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to rock and ho-ho. I think that's important. Folks, how is everybody doing out there on this winter's afternoon? It's a winter's afternoon. I'm going to share this with music friends. That's what I do. I share it with music friends with a fun it never ends. A great sugar booger. All right, now I'm going to share it over here. Write post. I will write a post. Post toasties. Delicious. I'm going to post over here. I'm going to post over there. I'm going to post here. And what do we got here? Clock Marshall Trio. Boom. All right, folks, what's going on? Michael Burrell is the first one here. Greetings to you in the dual metropolitan complex. Chris is out there. Ron is too. Can you dig it? Roger too. How's everybody doing out there in movie land? It's Fishman Takeover time. Friday comes like a thief in the night. Woo-hoo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. The sound of these P90s is nothing more than sublime. That's all I'm going to say. Makes me feel good, makes me feel right, doggity doggett. Please, I hope everything goes back to normal live gigs. Well, soon enough, Peter, hopefully. That's beyond our control, but in the meantime, we will rock where we can. Tomorrow night here in the Orange Room, Toby will be down, and Dylan and I and him will engage in fiendish song. Are you guys ready for that kind of activity? We are. Lord. The Green Beast has been unleashed, ladies and gentlemen. These are my new Fishman Fluence Gristle Tone P90s coming out soon, ladies and gentlemen. We're aiming towards that springtime. Springtime in the city. For sure, they're going to be on this new Reverend guitar, which will be out in March, with these pickups on it. Can you dig it? And is that a new song? Michael, it's kind of a new old song, to be honest with you. I've had that little riff that... I've had that around since very early on. And I used to do it in college. We used to call that song the Monster Mode. And I would rock that son of a gun. And we've just been kind of messing with it again. And it just is kind of a groovy little thing. Now, folks, these pickups are very interesting in the fact that kind of how I'm running it. Like all the Fluence pickups, they have two voices. So this is voice number 1 on the neck position. Again, you don't lose any highs when you turn down the volume. It's kind of interesting how it's all going to turn out. Again, because of COVID, everything is different. So many things are different, including the rollout of these pickups. The guitar and the pickups were supposed to be out in, Summer NAMM, but Summer NAMM never happened, and, everything got pushed back because of obvious reasons. So things are different with how these pickups are going to be unfurled. So I really wanted the out-of-phase thing, and it's going to be available on the guitar with the pickups. So they have two voices and an out-of-phase thing on the version of the Reverend guitar. When you buy the aftermarket Gristle Tone P90s, they'll have 3 voices, but not the out-of-phase thing. But you can get the out-of-phase thing as an extra thing. It's a long story, but that's what I'm sticking to. Okay. So the 2 voices right now on this guitar are as follows. That's voice 1. Here's voice 2. Here it just fattens up a little bit and gets a little bit more volume. Same thing for the bridge pickup. So here's bridge, for voice 1, voice 2. Subtle, and you get a little bit more. Now the middle position, I have it so when I push up, or it's a push-pull pot on the tone control, when I have it up, I get this out-of-phase sound. But it's not a straight out-of-phase sound. When you do the Peter Green wiring, ladies and gentlemen, you're in the middle position on a Les Paul, and you're out of phase, and you back off on either volume, either the neck pickup or the bridge pickup, and it immediately, like with just a little bit of a turn, it gets like this fatter. It still sounds out of phasey, but it's just fatter sounding and really more usable. And so I have that option on this guitar. So there's a little pot inside where I can set where I want that out of phase to be, and I like it just where I back off on the volume of the neck pickup just a little bit ski, and you get the sound, which lives a lot better with the individual pickup sound. So here's the bridge pickup by itself. Here's the middle out of phase. And here's neck. It sounds sublime. So I just leave it kind of as is. That sound is just so juicy and succulent. I don't even use the regular middle position with both pickups unless they're out of phase. Right? What is the middle position without the out of phase? It sounds like this. Sounds great. Here's the second position. out a face sound for that Nova Scotia's Cold. So I just like playing that song. It's been a while since we've played it with the band, but we've been doing it with Dylan and myself. And that's the one that goes. Well, the coldest winter I ever knew was the summer loving you. When I thought we had a fire started, proved your heart was deep retarded. You're so Nova Scotia cold. You're so Nova Scotia cold. Well, you think you know what cold is? Living in Minneapolis. Take a little trip to St. John. You'll find out what's really going on. You're so Nova Scotia cold. You're so Nova Scotia cold. You're so Nova Scotia cold. You're cold. like that rock, ladies and gentlemen. I like that rock, and the P90s on this guitar, win the guitar, make for a rock utensil doom. So, folks, yes, I saw a comment on the SM58s are working again. It was the chords. There were 2 bad chords, which was very, very odd. Very, very odd indeed. And to add to more of the strangeness, this morning I woke up 5:30 a.m. The cats were mewing piteously, as they do, asking for sweet sustenance. And I got up, came downstairs, and like, damn, it is cold down here. It's Nova Scotia cold in my house. And anyways, to make a long story short, I went downstairs, and the cats were on top of some drum cases near to where the furnace was, and knocked the stuff over, and either a drum head in a box, an extra drum head, or extra whatever, fell down and hit the off switch on our furnace. So we woke up 55 degrees in Koch home, thanks to the cats. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm thinking about that kitty goodwill and making a little deposit. Who's with me on that? And then what was so funny is when I came to the determination, my wife and I were downstairs and we looked at that thing and we thought, how did that happen? And then I looked at the things on the ground, like, well, the cats were probably up high, as they like to go, and pushed this crapola over, and it hit the thing. And just as I thought of that, I looked, and Luna Girl was looking at me from the bottom of the stairs. She saw me, and then went back up the stairs. Like, she knew. That little prick. Right? Whoa, kitty prick. Biddle-diddle-doo, kitty prick. Biddle-diddle-diddle-doo, bitty prick. Biddle-diddle-diddle-doo, kitty prick. Biddle-diddle-diddle-doo, kitty prick. So now I'm walking tall. Got the coffee machine back in the fold, making that sweet brew. I got to tell you, the quality of the coffee game in this house has gone up exponentially. Am I right, Dylan? Am I right? Sorry, Dylan, we got to set you up with that other mic. Where's that cord? Oh, the cord's got to be over there somewhere. Never mind. We'll get you next time. Yeah, there you go. Woody is asking, which Gristle is this? Which Master is this? This is the new one coming out for 2021, which should be in stores somewhere in the March area. I was talking to Ken Haas the other day. He's like, March, we're looking at March. And I said, don't worry. I've been very, very careful to remind people that during COVID hours that the release dates are really more of a suggestion. So we're doing what we can. So this one is a Gristle Master 290. It's shorter scale, so it's Gibson scale. It's got an ebony board. It's set neck. It has the new Fishman Fluence Gristle Tone P90 pickups in it. And this color we're calling Tosa Turquoise after my hometown of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Woo! Tosa. I went to Tosa West. Dylan went to Tosa East. There's apparently some kind of a rivalry. I was oblivious to it. You know why? Because I'm a man of peace. Right, Sarah? Sarah's looking at me going, really, Drade? Silence yourself, Drade. What's that? Huh? My hat does match the poster. My hat. How often do you have to change the battery? Well, with these, the way that this is run, the lithium-ion battery is in this control panel, and you just simply, with an hour-and-a-half charge, you get 300 hours of delicious power. Now, I've had one guitar for like 10 years now with the original lithium-ion battery, actually 2 of them. So it's been 10 years, and I play a lot and use those guitars a lot. So it's been going good. Can you dig it? Mm-hmm. Do we see that someone's from Hibbing, Minnesota? My in-laws have a cabin up in that neck of the woods. So we get up to Hibbing every now and again. It's interesting because in Minnesota they call a lake house, we call it a cottage in Wisconsin. Well, let's go up to the cottage this weekend. But in Minnesota, they say let's go up to the cabin. Consequently, or subsequently, or really nothing-quently, on another subject altogether, we say soda, and they say pop.
It's wrong.
What are you going to do?
They pronounce the A's and A's weird.
Yes. 300 hours is a long time, am I right? No buzz on the P90s. That is correct, Jason.
Off our rockers, acting crazy. And with the right medication, we won't be lazy. Old folks boogie down on the farm. Our wheelchairs, they were locked arm and on. Had our pacemakers with matching alarms. Give us just one more chance. to spin one more yarn, and you know that you're over the hill when your mind makes a promise that your body can't feel. What? Old folks boogie, boogie we will. I do us, I thought it's good as a thrill. Back at the home, no time is our own. The facilities there are all out on loan. The bank's foreclosed and your bankrupt is showed. Credit is reached an all-time low. But you know that you're over the hill when your mind makes a promise that your body can't feel. Great sugar. Try to get a rise from your atrophied muscle, but during your thigh it just to quiver and fizzle. But you know that you're over the hill when your mind makes a promise that your body can't feel, and you know that you're over the hill when your mind makes a promise that your body can't feel. Quick sugar boogie, old folks boogie, boogie very well. Touch to us, I thought it's good as a thrill. Look at that actually, someone's asking about the Leslie simulation. That's actually the harmonic vibrato that's on the amp. So the overdrive, the boost, the reverb, the vibrato is all on the amplifier mic. Koch amplifier right there, that blue beast of doom and destruction. And this guitar through it. Sounds like the end of the world. Can you dig it all? Will you dig it? It's good for you. All right, I'm going to switch over to the other Gristle Master with my Fishman Fluence Gristle tone pickups for the guitar of the T Persuasion. The guitar of the T Persuasion. Nothing wrong with it. Oh, Lord. How's everybody doing out there? You all right? You doing okay? It looks like it's snowing there. Is it snowing? Nope. It did. At one point in time, there was snow. It is a little brisk out there. It's about 30 degrees, I reckon. Not too bad. Not too bad. I did have to run over and get new guitar, couple mic cables because yesterday when we went live, just scant moments before going live,
this microphone wasn't working. I said, what the Sam hell? The Sam Hill? What the heck? And so I put another mic cable in that was new, and it didn't work. I thought, well, that's weird. 2 mic cables? Oh, it's got to be the mic. And then I put another mic in there, didn't work. Put another mic in there, didn't work. So it was a little weird. So today I went to a Guitar Center because there's, the music stores are falling by the wayside here in Wisconsin, or in the Milwaukee area, as far as like full service music stores. So I had to go to Old Guitar Center, which is still open, diggity doggone, and I went in there. I said, Broseph, I need me some mic cables. And he looked at me and said, are you some kind of a mutant? And I said, guilty as charged, friend. And so I got a couple of pretty nicey Mikey cables, came back here, plugged in, everything's working good. So that makes me feel, I don't know, special. And that's all there is to it. So this color, ladies and gentlemen, is a new color for 2021. The 3-tone Sunburst Gristle Master. And that's all there is to it. It's snowing in Chicago, really? Took the bus to New Orleans. Snowing down in Chicago. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that question. Would you ask me which Gristle Master I like the best? Well, it's hard to say. I like all the different tone hues. I have been playing this one quite a bit lately, though. It does look quite stunning, I think. Behold. Behold its power. Behold the power of the 3-tone Sunburst. You can get a nice view of that raised middle section there. Like a firebird. You know what I'm saying? Like a bird of fire. Let me move this little son of a bitch over here a little bit. There we go. I got a little fingerprinty on there. I like it, Dillian. That's a new-ish thing. I've had a couple of those bits lying around for a while, and now I'm kind of putting them together in a delicious little morsel. Yeah, they definitely clean up. I mean, it's one of the big things I like about. Well, there's many great things I like about the pickups, but when you turn down the volume, I can set the amp pretty meaty, and turn on the volume, and it cleans up nice, Somebody talking about gold. Yes, there will be the P90, the 290 Gristle Master will come in gold as well. There's gold in them there hills. And there will also be a black version. A gold and a black, a gold and a black. When's the record coming out? We're looking at March. I do love the slapback. I love using the slapback and then turning off the reverb. So when I like that, I turn off the reverb. Well, I hear that train a-comin' and it's roll around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison and time keeps dragging on. A great sugar book. And that train, it keeps a-rolling right down the sand. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. Till I shot a man in his Schwabenheim, just to watch him die. And I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head. In a fancy dining car, probably drinking coffee and smoking them a good cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. Those people keep a moving, and that's what torture. From that prison if the railroad train was mine. Probably take a little further. There's a further down the line. Far from Folsom Prison. Damn it, that's where I want to stay.
and I let that lonesome gristle go my blue go.
Woo! Diggity doggone it. That's what these Gristle Town pickups sound like. They sound like rock and roll or chicken picking country. That's your little Jim Page in there for the kids. Riff Master Extraordinaire was Jim Page. Am I right or am I right? Riff Master Extraordinaire. Riff Master Extraordinaire. A riff master extraordinaire, Jimmy Page. I can't quit you, babe. But I'm gonna have to put you down for a while, said Bob Plant, a la Otis Rush. I love Willie Dixon. What? So many people. Kankakee, Illinois. Scott, what the heck's going on down there? Kankakee, Illinois. I got ba-da-da-da-da-da-do. Got into town today to find my girl is gone away. Took the Greyhound, booked the general store. I took the town and then it all, and I looked in the road. Just hanging round for more. Now my baby's gone, I don't know what to do. She took my love and walked right out the door. Better find that girl, I know one thing for sure. I'm gonna give her something like she never had before. Sorry about that. That's all I know. Robert Plant. Put on the vice grips. There we go. I think that's it, right? Oh, yes. You know, Little Zeppelin never hurt anybody as far as I'm concerned. All right, Ryan, I'm going to grab the Acoustic, see if it's working. Should be. Sorry, we were kind of having a quick sound check. Because of the, the camera situation. Got a new camera. It looks glorious, but we're still trying to figure it all out because with more sophisticated equipment becomes more complexity.
You want to finish that on the Acoustic? I need to take care of something.
All right. I think Dylan needs to take care of some things. I'm not going to imagine what those are. But they might. He's got things to do. Here comes Dylan James. Here comes Dylan. That's a nice shirt, Dylan. I like it. Wade's Guitar Shop, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a place of honor and diplomacy, and that is the t-shirt that Dylan is wearing at this juncture in time. I should say that they are a Fishman dealer. They are a Fishman dealer. They are a Fishman dealer. Wade's Guitar Shop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Why don't you play that acoustic guitar? That's what Mom used to say. She'd say, Greg, why don't you ever play that acoustic guitar? I gotta plug it in, right? Ha 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 ha. Yes, that's a little song called Night Owl Now, or Dirty Old Bee, depending on what iteration you're listening to. This is my Martin 00028. People always ask, what guitar is that? It's a 00028 with a factory installed Fishman Matrix Infinity pickup. And I'm going into the Fishman Spectrum Aura preamp into the Fishman Loudbox Performer amplifier. And I have a SM57 in front of that rascal, and that's what you're hearing. Can you dig it? Will you dig it? Can you dig it or will you dig it? That was a little combination of things really there, if you don't mind me by saying so. All right, folks, we've reached that time of the day. Any questions out there? Any questions out there in movie land for the people? For me, for Dylan. Well, Dylan's gone now. For me. Questions? Sometimes I fart and it smells like the end of the world. That's an inside joke, right? Greg, do you ever use a thumb pick for finger style? You know, I tried it, and it just seemed like such a recalculating of things that I decided not to make the leap. So I do everything with the pick and fingers. I do everything with the pick and fingers, including... Sam asked, do I ever pick with my pinky? Every now and again. I'll include it in my reindeer games. I'll include it with my reindeer games. Speed is good for you. I played a 12-bar blues earlier, didn't I? I did. I'll do it in A. Can you dig it? That's right. All Bigsby at first for the Gristle Master 290. But the Bigsby works. It stays in tune. You can warble with it. And Bigsby's sound good to me. I know you have a 12-string somewhere. You know what, Adam? I don't have a 12-string acoustic right now. I need to get one. Hey, Greg, how much do you charge for an online lesson, Skype or other device? I do Skype lessons through my website. I do them for $100 for an hour. I give you lots of stuff in your brain. After about a half hour, your brain's going, but I allow you to record them as long as it doesn't end up on YouTube. Then I come after you with with my team of paranormal experts and turn your life into a cross-dimensional hellscape. But that's all right. No one has done it so far, so I haven't had to, use that card. But I do them through Skype. And you can get it from our website. Mike Burrell asked when the Radio Free Gristle CDs are shipping. I signed a bunch and sent a bunch of posters yesterday out to Chris Webb, who does all my web fulfillment. See what we did there? His name is Chris Webb, and he does, among other things, he does web fulfillment. Kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Of course, he does many other things that are glorious as a management henchman, if you will, of the night and of the day and of the mid-afternoon. And so those will be coming out. The new Radio Free Gristle, which is this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, a record I actually originally put out in 2003. And I will say that it was not promoted really at all. Not that I'm judging anyone in particular. It's just like, when you get a record deal, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure there's those people out there in movie land right now that have had the experience. When you finally get a record deal after putting out your own records and beating your head against the wall and inflicting self-abuse in every way, shape, where you finally get a record deal, like, hooray, this is a real label, it's run by a real guy, and there's stuff, and now it's going to be great. I'll be able to get a booking agent, and you can go into a Best Buy store in Tucumcari, and you'll be able to find my CD, and hooray! Literally none of those things happen. So it was available where I would usually sell them and distribute them myself, but unfortunately it was not given any kind of promotion whatsoever, and so it just kind of died on the vine. And then years go by and you put out other records and so on and so forth. But in listening to this, there's some really wicked music on here, I gotta say. And I originally did it as a radio show with some humorous tidbits in between, and that, the guy from the distribution company didn't get it. And I remember saying to the gal who was supposed to give me a marketing plan from the label, and she never did, bless her. I said, you just can't put this out there with any kind of explanation. You need to get to people who understand this type of stuff. You need to get, any comedian who's a musician or vice versa, you need to get it in their hands because they'll get it. And instead, without any introduction, they just plopped it on the distributor's desk, and he looked at the cover and said, I don't get it. And therefore, it was not available in any stores anywhere, other than the stores that I would usually. There's a whole story that I tell about this, which is quite humorous. And I'm not bitter. It's been a long, long time, and I've learned many lessons. And everything has worked out just fine, ladies and gentlemen. So you're not going to catch me on some kind of perpetually bitter streak. But it's a funny-ass story. So anyways, after all these years, I got the rights back of the record from Steve Vai a couple years back. This was on Steve Vai's label, Favored Nations, 2003 original release date. And I decided to put it out with just the music on it. So I took out all the little tidbits in between, except for the one where my mom asked me to play the acoustic guitar. I left that one in for reasons that I think are obvious. And so it's Radio Free Gristle, just the jams. There are signed versions with posters. The original posters, Tom Wheeler, the former editor-in-chief of Guitar Player magazine, wrote a really nice blurb on the record, and unfortunately he passed away a couple years ago, which was devastating. But anyway, tell the story, please. All right, I'll make it short. What do we got? It's 8 after 5. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you the quick record company story. You ready? I'm going to be quick, as quick as I can. So, 2001, I debuted the Cyber Twin amplifier for Fender out at the NAMM show. I'm in this little theater playing my own songs, but I'm debuting this new amp, and it's the first time they ever let me unleash with the full gamut of me playing whatever I want and saying whatever I want. So I had this way of showing the amp in my colorful terms and so on and so forth, and I had some background tracks that were cool, and I used the amp in a bunch of weird ways, and it was really cool. The amp was a smash success. Fender was pleased to sponsor, going to send me all over the world to do all these clinics and workshops and concerts and whatnot. And, the Hal Leonard deal got solidified, and I was doing, rewrote the Hal Leonard guitar method, was doing a bunch of stuff for them. And one of the guys from Steve Vai's label was in the, one of the many showings that I did. And Steve Vai heard about it, and he called the Fender guy and said, who is this guy? What's going on? And next thing you know, Steve Vai wants to hear my records that by that point in time, I'd already put out maybe 5 records on my own, right? tone controls. Strats got your tongue, double the gristle, defenestrate. Yeah, about 5 records. So they said, he's like, these records are great. Let's put out something that's like a compilation of those records. I'm like, great. And most of them had vocal stuff on it, but for whatever reason, which was a bad decision on my part. If I had had management at the time, they probably would have, encouraged me not to do so. But I picked almost all instrumental songs. I figured, well, Steve Vai's an instrumental guy. All the guys on this label are mostly instrumental. Maybe that's my card to play. Stupid. I should have had the vocal stuff on there as well as this thing, because once you're an instrumental artist, you are pigeonholed, ladies and gentlemen, and cornholed, if I may be so bold. That doesn't sound right. So I had about 5 new tunes in addition to like an amalgam of tunes off my previous 5 records that we put out as a record called The Grip in 2001. And I had a full, like, multiple page write-up in Guitar Player magazine. They did a full-on feature. And when I was a youngster, when you had a full-on feature in Guitar Player magazine, you were a made person at that point in time. Like, everyone knew who you were on the scene, so on and so forth. So I was really excited. So I figured, oh man, that record comes out. It came out then. This article comes out. I'm going to sell a bunch of CDs. I'll get a booking agent, and everything will be great. Well, I didn't see any bump in sales at all after the thing came out because they weren't in any stores, ladies and gentlemen. Unbeknownst to me, that once you get the record deal, you got to schmooze the bejesus out of, or have your people, of which I had none, you have to have your people schmooze the distributor and then schmooze any kind of booking agent you could possibly find in order to put a team together. And none of this was, I was oblivious to all of this shit. So next thing you know, no records are being sold. I'm like, what the hell's going on? This is like a nightmare. I was calling up booking agents that I kind of knew, and I said, hey, I got a record deal now, and Fender's behind me, and I'm doing all these clinics, and blah, 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 blah. And let's do something. And they're like, yeah, it's an instrumental guitar record. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? We do vocal stuff, and live shows are, we do all kinds of different things. Yeah, we're not interested. So no booking agent, nothing. And then next thing, the guy from the label's like, well, we really can't push this record. This is my favorite. We really can't push this record because this is stuff you've put out before. I said, yeah, but other than really guitar-oriented fanatics and people in southeastern Wisconsin, it's new to everybody else. And he's like, yeah, we should really put out a new record. I'm like, okay, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm figuring, oh, that sounds like a good. He knows. He's a record company guy. He knows the lay of the land. Maybe just there's a taint. There's a taint if music's been out before that you can't really promote it. I don't know. So next thing you know, I'm in the studio cutting some other records, and I'm running them by Steve Vai. He's like, wait a minute, why are you recording new stuff? We just put out that last record. I go, because your fella who's running your label, the A&R guy, is saying, we need to put a new record out because he can't promote the old stuff because it's old. Apparently it's tainted. And he's like, okay, I guess. Anyways, I said, well, here's my idea for the record. We'll do this thing, or we'll have these little vignettes in between the tunes and the humor, because Steve really got my sense of humor, bless him, and he liked the tunes and so on and so forth. So next thing you know, we're putting together this crazy record, which would become Radio Free Gristle, and so the gal that had taken over marketing at that point in time, the other guy who told me to record another record, he leaves. There's a new gal there who's running the marketing, or for the label. She's like, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to make such a splash, because she's like, the guy from the distribution company doesn't kind of get you, and so what we need to do is we really make a huge splash, and what we're going to do in your home state. So what we need to do is when the record comes out, you do a bunch of gigs around your whole state, and we'll make sure that the sales are like off the charts. And then he'll have to recognize it. Once you're selling in your home state, he'll have to distribute it in other areas. And I'm like, okay, I can do that, because I knew all the press people and the radio people, and I knew how to book myself in my own state. But they said, oh, we've got a publicist. Don't worry about servicing all the different radio people and press people. We'll take care of it. That didn't happen. They around the same time, they also said we should record a DVD. We'll do a DVD at the same time. So why don't you book a CD release party, and we'll do a DVD. We'll film it, and then that'll come out after. It'll be great. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I started talking to this one guy who shall remain nameless, who said he did a bunch of commercials and stuff, and he said, I'll film your thing. I go, well, you got to understand, this is a small record label. The budget's not going to be it's not going to be big. He's like, don't even worry about it. This is like more of a labor of love. Don't ever listen to that ever. When someone says that, go, no, I want in writing how much you're going to charge me. So anyway, so I proceed to do all these different things. I book a bunch of gigs all over the state of Wisconsin. I'm getting ready to rock. They said, okay, well, the publicist will take care of sending the records out. We'll send you some records, and the release date is such. Like a week, 10 days after the record release, I'm going to do a big show like at this club in town here called the Up and Under. We're doing 2 nights in a row. I've booked a remote. My buddy Rick Probst had this great remote. Remote Planet was the name of his company. He had a remote truck that came out. Everything like that's going to sound glorious. But the guy who's going to film it just never. He keeps ghosting me. Like, how much is it going to cost? You know, give me some lowdown. I need to know what's going on. This is getting closer. I'm like totally stressed out. I'm juggling all these things. I finally get a box of the CDs. I'm so excited. I got my CD. I'm like, oh my God, look at them. I had about 15 of them, right? So I got my 15 CDs. I'm like, great. So I'm excited about it now. So I start calling. I start calling up my buddies from the magazines going, hey, how you like the record? What record? My brand new record that's coming out in 2 days? We didn't know anything about that. I go, you got to be kidding me. Well, if I would have got it, I definitely would have wrote it up. So I have to start giving people my CDs, which were actually supposed to be taken care of by the record company. They were supposed to have a publicist that I'm paying for that would take care of it. Didn't do any of it. Radio stations, none of them even knew anything about it. So now I'm freaking out. I'm figuring, oh my God, how am I supposed to make this big splash to get people to care about the record coming out if my own home people haven't been taken care of? So next thing you know, I'm calling different people. I'm calling up, all up around the state that I knew all the different record company or newspaper people and so on and so forth, radio stations, and I start sending these things out like a madman. So I'm out of CDs, and I need to get them to more people because in 10 days or so, we're actually doing the CD release party. So the next day I wake up, or record release day, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get up bright and early. I'm gonna go over to the Barnes & Noble in my hometown because I know they open up at 7 a.m. And I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna buy some of my own CDs so I can get them to promote the thing coming up, right? So I go to Barnes & Noble at 7 a.m. or whatever they open up, and I go in there and I see the guy who's the guy who's working at the CD music department at the Barnes & Noble sees me, and I don't know him, but he knows me. He's like, hey, Greg, what are you doing in here? He goes, I'm a big fan. I'm like, well, great, I really appreciate that. I mean, how do you like the new record? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I have a new record coming out today. He's like, really? Well, let's go upstairs and see what, I haven't seen it, but let's go upstairs. So he goes into his computer, and he says, well, we don't have it here. And as I look into the computer, there's no CDs of yours. It's in the system, but it's not anywhere in any store in the state of Wisconsin. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. So now I'm a little furious. So I was like, no problem. I'll wait till 10 o'clock and I'll go over to the Best Buy and I will purchase my own CDs from Best Buy. So I have to wait till 10 o'clock. So I go over to my parents' house at that point in time and I'm talking to my dad, just going, the struggle is real. What are you guys looking for? The keys are in that jacket there, John. No, that one. That one, yep. And if they're not in there, I hung them up. Anyway, so go over and hang out with my folks. Go back over to the Best Buy, 10 a.m. Guess what? Not only does the record person not know who I am, but when I ask him, he looks at it. It's not even in the system. So that means no Best Buy in the U.S. of A. is going to have my CD. Okay, so there's that. So I'm freaked out. So, and then I'm like, okay, so I'm looking, I'm like, well, there's the local, kind of the regional record store, which I would distribute myself, that I already did with all my old material was already distributed at, at this place called the Exclusive Company. So I wait, they're open at 11. 11 o'clock, I'm over at the Exclusive Company. I walk in and I look and there's a big ass pile of my CDs on the, on the counter. I'm like, you have my CDs? He goes, absolutely. I go, I need to buy some. I need to give him some people, a record company, yada, yada, yada. So he starts writing the thing out, and after he does so, he's writing it out on a piece of paper. I go, well, aren't you going to submit those so I can get SoundScan? He's like, oh, we don't do SoundScan. So let's paint the picture for you. So in order for the record company to be delighted by the fact that I'm selling so many CDs in my home state. It has to show up on SoundScan. And the only retailer in the entire state of Wisconsin, the exclusive company, does not report to SoundScan. So this is how my release date is beginning. Like the next day, as I'm looking forward to getting my, the release party, which is coming in a couple of weeks or 10 days or whatever it was after the original release date, and I'm supposed to do this filming, and the guy keeps ghosting me about the filming. So I finally get a hold of him, and he's like, "Hey, sorry I haven't been getting back to you. I've just, I've been really busy. But hey, I've worked it all out. I think I've come up with a package that's going to be really, really good for you, and it's going to be great. We're going to do this. We're going to use real film. We're going to do this and this and this, and that up on it. It's going to look great." He starts describing all this stuff. I'm like, "Great. Well, how much is it going to cost?" And he goes, I got it down to $100,000. And I said, "Are you high on crack?" I was thinking 1,200. So needless to say, we didn't film that performance. So next thing you know, we do the show, and thank God both nights that we did were packed, and the recording turned out pretty damn good too. Actually, the recording of Absinthe that came out of the reissue of Strat's Got Your Tongue is from that night. There's a whole bunch of other tunes too, but anyway. Yeah, that's just a little, and that's not the whole story, but needless to say, afterwards I was kind of like, yeah, I don't think I'll be doing much with the Favored Nations folks anymore. But you know what? It's not really. You have to have a team of people. The relationship between the artist and the record company, it's an adversarial one. I don't care what anyone says. You need your team to be savage. And get what they want from these people and tell them what to do and make sure they do X, Y, and Z, because they ain't going to do it on their own. They like to just throw poop against the wall and see what sticks. And, oh, let's make some money there, or not. Oh, that didn't work, sorry. And I didn't know any of this stuff. Hey, hooray, music, friends. Come on, buddies, let's go. Hey, they like my jams. This is great. Everything's lining up. Hooray. And everything turned out all right in the end, but that was a lesson to be learned. So anyways, the long and the short of it is, this was a killer record that I busted my sack in order to have really good stuff on, and it never got the light of day. And then I had to wait till years later until I saved up some dough and I could buy my record back. But I didn't do it with the vocal thing, so I just wanted the music to be heard. So now it's available in just the music form, just the jams, radio-free Gristle. You can get it from my website. It will be up on digital streaming services soon. It's not right now. It's available as signed CDs, and there are some of the original posters. The record company did make me posters, though. I got those, and they're not big. They're about yay big, and they have a quote from Tom Wheeler on it, a picture of me and a picture of the record, so. That's the buttered down version of the story, by the way. I got really good write-ups. Tom Wheeler wrote a great write-up. Guitar Player Magazine, Vintage Guitar. They all wrote it up. Over in Europe. I think it was on the cover of some magazine, whatnot. But yeah, I always made more. I made more money releasing my own records because I knew how to do it. You release your records, you get them to the stores that you know that will pay you. And you do gigs and you sell them at gigs, and then yada yada yada. And then you get a record deal. You're like, hooray! I can say I'm signed now, and maybe get into a couple of magazines that I wouldn't prior to that, maybe. But other than that, it's like other than the original downstroke. And in this case, there was no original downstroke. I didn't know. It's like, oh, it's a Favored Nations. You split everything 50-50 after expenses. You'll never overcome the expenses, my friends. Oh, and by the way, you're going to pay $8 a piece for your CDs to sell. Again, I'm not, it just is what it is. I should have known better, and I didn't know. So you live and learn, but rest assured, everything has turned out all right for Drade. But I just wanted to tell us, somebody wanted the story, so I went a little overtime, folks. It was story time. Okay. Listen, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. We are doing a live stream here tomorrow with Toby Lee Marshall, our organ player. His organ, he's his own organ player, but he's part of our trio, Koch Marshall Trio. He's coming down. We're going to be at 5 p.m. Central Time. I want to thank you in advance. People have been very, very generous, and we really appreciate it because obviously we're not gigging as a band, and these are our only gigs that we're doing with the band. So we appreciate not only you listening, but you've been very generous, and we appreciate it. 5 p.m. Central Time. tomorrow on both Facebook and on YouTube. And other than that, I will see you next Monday, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you later.